Okay, in this episode, what we're going to do is we're going to install the database repository for grid control. What I'm going to do actually is install a plain Jane database and with not any init.or parameters changes that are necessary for grid control because I actually, when I install in grid control, I want to see some failure messages. So, so step one is to install the Oracle software, and step two is to install a pretty much plain Jane database. So let's go ahead and start with that. Um, let's run installer. I have already installed the WebLogic server, which is not necessary, but I will need it later when I do the grid control. But they're not. There's no dependence on each other. But this server already has the WebLogic server installed. I'm going to do this software only, single instance database, enterprise edition. We're going to take these defaults here. Now this step takes a while to run, so I'll probably fast forward through this process or through these steps. Okay, so what do we have to do now is run some root.sh, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, that's done. And this part of the installation is done. So we've completed the software installation. So now let's go to the Oracle Home, and in there I have created two bash profiles, and I'm going to go ahead and run one of them now. This will set my Oracle Home so that I can run DBCA. Now I'm actually going to create a database, and in this particular case, I'm going to create a database without any special changes to the database. And so we'll see some error messages when I install grid control. The only thing I'm going to do actually in terms of changes is use Unicode here. And because this part takes a while to run, I'll probably fast forward through this section as well. Okay, so the database grid has been created. So we'll click this part. The one thing that has not been done is we haven't run netca, so let's go ahead and do that. Run netca. Let's go ahead and create a listener. Add listener 1521. No. Next. Finish. Okay, and then let's go ahead and connect to the database. So now we see grid is there. So the only thing I wanted to show you now is that in the grid of Oracle Home, of course, we have the BEA subdirectory. This got created when we installed WebLogic. Now that we've installed the Oracle software, we should see we see the Aura Inst and the Aura tab. Let's look at the Aura Inst look and Aura tab. So this particular thing got populated after we created the database, and of course this got populated when we installed the software. So the other thing is, let's look at the Aura inventory itself. So down here, Oracle patch and oops, no, we don't need to CD it. We just need to run it. And we see that there's one product, namely the database, that's in the Aura inventory at the moment. And so just to recap, we've created a pretty standard plain Jane database. I've made no special changes for grid control. I've done that on purpose because in the next step, when we do a grid control installation, we want to see some failures. So that's it for this episode.